XOLO, no worries. Thank you for having me.
Questions?
So Cobra Kai, obviously, there's a lot of action going on.
Yeah.
Is there any scene that was like dramatic that you found challenging and rewarding that stood out over the numerous seasons you guys have had so far?
Of course, of course. In this last season, we have some really long wonders. Ever since the second season, we prided ourselves in doing some of these like 2-minute fancy gags with all of our friends, and I think after working on it for 5, 6, 7 years now, we've gained the confidence to really, push our punches in more ways than one. So, a particular difficult day. I mean, I think back often to like the early days because I really knew nothing. I was going in kind of like fish out of water into this whole world of martial arts, and so grateful that our stunt coordinators and fight coordinators took me under their wing. But nowadays we're game for anything. We're ready for it all.
As we come up to the final episodes, how do you reflect on how you've grown as a person and a performer since the start? And what lessons will you take away from this experience that will sustain the rest of your career?
Great question, thank you. I mean, 16 to 24 are like maybe the most formative years in anyone's life, so I'm so appreciative that I was able to grow up in a space that made me feel comfortable and made me feel seen. Because I definitely, like, in high school prior to that, there weren't that many situations that I found myself in prior to Cobra Kai, and I think something that I'll never forget and that I'm honestly the most heartbroken about getting to work on the show for 7 years is the sense of community that you build when working with the crew for 7 years. I think, it was hugging, our ADs and our hair and makeup team and our sound editors and all those folk that I was the most sad about getting to leave. And it just stuck in my mind the power of being there on the day and making people feel seen and chatting with, from top to bottom with everyone there. I think it just, it's a great big old love fest, and I'm sad it's over. Yeah. Thank you.
Being a part of Cobra Kai, pop culture nostalgia, you're a younger actor, coming up, just some words that you can kind of give other people that are getting into acting. Their craft down the road.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so fortunate to have kind of been chipping away at this statue for I started this when I was 10 and really kind of just kept persisting. I'd say like find your family, whether that be your real family or your friends, like find those group of people that on the days that are good, the days that are bad, that you can go back to and see the next day with. I think that is maybe my biggest privilege, is having such a strong foundation and knowing that no matter what, I'll just go back home and be with my dogs and my friends and my mom and my dad. So I'd say that's often overlooked because you'll head into a lot of these rooms where a lot of people they don't have your best interest, or they don't know who you are even. So it's nice to keep those people around close.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, thank you.
How about your career moving forward?
It's done.
It's done for you. It's not done for the audience. But it's essentially there. What is something? I know this is out of control, but what do you want, like genre-wise? What would you like to accomplish in that?
The genre, great question, bro. I have no clue the genre. I would just love to continue getting to work with first-time filmmakers. It's been such a gift to get to help. I mean, I do this to get to cross the finish line with the directors and the producers and say, y'all did it. And thus far, I've worked with some really great folk, and I think this new generation and some of the younger folk have some really great stories to tell, and if I can be a part of that, that's all I can hope for. The genre, who it is, what it is, I have no clue, but, and then eventually just getting to help people tell their own stories, getting that skrilla so I can help them, get off the ground.
Awesome. You guys are great.
Yeah. You gotta have like a really well-rounded crew. Like I think honestly, Cobra Kai and then furthermore on Blue Beetle, like it cannot be like brought up enough how having a crew that is reflective of the story that you're trying to tell really goes far. Like, it wasn't until Blue Beetle that I was like, whoa, there's Latinos in the sound department or the costumes department. Like, I think it was so refreshing, and it really it just helped everyone get on the same page to figure out what story that we were trying to tell, from wardrobe to set deck to sound to cinematography. So yeah, that is a must, and it's not always going to be there, but but I know it can be there. So I'm hopeful. Thank you. Thanks for your time. Appreciate you.